Welcome to a video on round 12 topics this week. It's George from Fantasy Take TV, and today we'll discuss go Ziebell, Sheezel, Day, Fyfe, and Keays, maybe a bit of Cogs too, and downgrades as well. But yeah, every year I do this for work. We go on do like a conference and stay in a hotel, and get to stay overnight, which is nice, and just steal all the stuff they have in the hotel and put it on the bill. So bottles of wine and stuff, they can go to the parents. But probably one of the rare occasions I do have a few glasses of wine though, which is good. But it gets me pretty quick, so I kind of stop pretty soon. So anyway, also it's a dress up where you have to wear like WOG stuff, not WOG stuff, Bogan stuff. I just wore full kit WOG just because I could. Or the Italia jacket, tracksuit top, and then the gold Adidas vintage. It must be worth so much money now, this stuff. I don't know if you can get it, but yeah, old they probably still sell it, but the Adidas gold tracksuit. So I used to think this was cool to wear probably 10 years ago. I've still got it in the wardrobe. And yeah, I think you go through your wardrobe every now and then, throw out some stuff, but I couldn't bring myself to throw out the glorious Adidas tracksuit. Just too vintage and too many good memories. Or not, I don't know about good, but just used to wear this to like A-League games. Used to go to my mate with, which is good. But yeah, let's talk Supercoach. Now, have had a few wines. I can't remember if I said that or not. I recorded this 5th time I've tried, I think. But anyway, I'm feeling pretty good. So see how we go. But we'll go over Jack Ziebell first. So if you're holding Jack Ziebell, you might as well quit, in my opinion. He's 32. He looks cooked. He looks shit. The marks are down lately for North Melbourne. Aaron Hall's in the team. I think my main gripe with Jay-Z is if he breaks down, you're fucked. I mean, I don't think there's any way around it. And it looks like he needs a buy very badly. Look, it might work out, but I think it's just he broke down in the very last round a few years ago, but now he's like 2 years older. He's had injuries since. Did a soft tissue, so he's out for me. Too much cash to leak, too much downside. I think that age scares me a bit too much. So, he's out for me. 100%. Don't care how many trades left. He's gone. Harry Sheezel, will go over. I don't mind holding Sheezel. I think what I saw in the game was like Sheezel's been scoring okay. He's kicked a few clutch goals. He's missed a few clutch goals, which would have made his score look a lot better. I think he's a bit younger. I guess given he's so young, he might tire a bit. We don't know. Dacos was kind of an exception. I don't know if Sheezel was in that bracket too. So I think he can do 80 plus from here, even in this role. From what I saw, the first 3 quarters or first half, he played down back and then moved forward. I think it was first 3 quarters down back, but down back he wasn't used as much. That was all the Aaron Hall show. So if Hall goes out and they play him back, I think he'll be alright. And he actually looked really good in forward of the ball. So eye test wise, there's absolutely no way I'm keeping Ziebell over Sheezel. I know Ziebell can be a premium, given more kick-ins and whatnot, and just done it before, but just looks like he's going to break down. Whereas Sheezel, I don't think he'll break down. Maybe tire a little bit, but I don't think he'll break down. So I think you trade both if you can, but I'll be holding. No, I think I'm trading Sheezel to Keays. I'll get to that in a sec. I don't know if that's going to go well, but we'll see. But yeah, look, if Sheezel was your F6, I wouldn't be too upset. And I raised this question on Twitter. Could you hold Humphrey over Sheezel? I think I'm going to go down to 2 trades and get rid of the whole lot of them, apart from Day. But the way I see it is you get the extra score in round 6. The role's arguably a little bit better. Inside mid, high half forward sort of role. Or more CBAs for Humphrey. So I guess when 2 comes back, and he's also like, can he sustain this form? Disposal was really, really poor on the weekend, but a lot of that was the conditions attributed to that. So I think it's 35% disposal. So, I mean, Humphrey's averaged, 100 over the past 4 weeks or something like that. I think maybe a little bit more. Obviously not going to sustain that, but do you keep, if people are keeping Sheezel, why wouldn't you just keep Humphrey instead? You get the extra 70k, you get the extra score over the last buy round, and you can probably do like 80 from here, hopefully. Maybe not, because I guess he's pretty young, but he's a star, young Humphrey. So great pick by Gold Coast. Let me know what you think of that. If you have both Sheezel and Humphrey, I'd probably rather hold on just the extra money and extra score. But of course, I don't think either of them really should be kept. So I guess Sheezel probably has a more upside. I guess his role is a little easier. It's like Humphrey's doing a lot of the grunt work in his body. Given one full AFL preseason, can he actually do it for however long? Whereas Sheezel, I think if he's playing a bit of halfback, bit of half forward, it's a little not as taxing. I guess that's the word I was looking for. Taxing. So that's my thoughts on that. Will Day, yeah, he's fake premium, but I think he can do 85, hopefully 90 from here. Had lots of excuses at tension, poor disposals, a lot of long kicks that were turnovers when Worpel's. Yeah, sometimes he scores okay, but just depends on where the kicks land. But I think a day like he streams out a stoppage and he just kicks long, and I don't know if he doesn't look. He just hopes that it goes to a contest res, and then it just end up being like an intercept mark, that sort of thing. Whereas I think Worpel, he just gets it, doesn't look at all, hacks it, doesn't burst from stoppage, just straight kick, and then hope for the best sort of thing. So maybe slightly unlucky with the scoring, but again, I think he's fake. But at least he's like his fourth year. The role should hold. Not worried about halfback, which only looked alright in. But I think the defense needed help, and he couldn't really get into the game in midfield. So, which is a pretty bad sign. But they were also completely clobbered in the biggest smashing of the first half that I've just about ever seen. Probably top three biggest smashings in the first half. I think it reached almost 90 points in the first half. Port had over Hawthorn. So, yeah. And then who else we got? So Cogs we'll go over. I think people are frustrated with Cogs. I know it's the numbers are fine. The disposal efficiency is not playing as early, hat kicks and whatnot. Even missing handballs and stuff like that. So a bit frustrating. Maybe the goals haven't been as much as they were earlier in the year. I think you stick fat with Cogs. He's annoying to have, but he's not like a disaster pick. Whereas I think like these other guys could be disaster picks. So I think if you can flip him to someone, I guess the two that you wouldn't have are McRae and Butters. I guess if you don't have Gordon, you can do that, but flip them on the buy. Like you can't flip them to those expensive forwards on the buy, or maybe you can flip him to like a mid and grab another forward somewhere. So in the midfield or something like that. So I would be holding Cogs. If you have the trades, like what do you do? Go to Darcy Cameron, terrible durability, but at least you get right cover and the extra score. And get a good look at Darcy Cameron this week, I guess. So, and then next we got Ben Keays and Fyfe. Starting with Fyfe, the durability is just so bad. I don't know. I have no idea what Fyfe's going to average. I guess the role is good. He's only 31. I searched that today. I thought he was much. I thought it was like 33, but he's only 31, turning 32 late in the year. So really, he shouldn't really be this cooked. But given I think he's had like 25 surgeries, like 2022 preseason, best he's felt. 2023 ready to roll, broke down both times. Didn't take long for that to happen. So if I'm free, I'm still kind of managing him. I like to sub him off at times. I know they need a win, and at his best, he's clearly their best player. But he's nowhere. He's not that guy anymore. But again, he's 240k, so it doesn't really matter too much. Is he the guy you want as your F7M8? I think it's okay if you want to do that. And I guess you get the scores during the buys, so I guess it's an okay play. I don't think you can have him at F6. It's just too risky because he'll probably die at some point, just based on past 3 years of data with his durability. So I wouldn't count on that too much. I can see him being subbed at times, managed. Potentially, I guess they've been building him up. So, look, it's an okay play. I won't be going there because I just think there's just such a high chance that he misses games. So, flush for trades. I think it's actually I do a flush for trades. I think it's okay like that, but I think it's fine to avoid. And didn't even run out the game well. So, like, what actually is he this year? How good is he? How fit is he? Looks fit in the preseason, but maybe he does need match fitness. He had the plantar fasciitis, so I assume he hasn't been able to run. But maybe that'll come back quickly with a bit of match fitness. So, no for me for Fyfe, but I guess you get the scores of the buys and he's cheap. No real downgrade options either. Our last one is Ben Keays. So I spoke about this on the podcast. Watching Crows games, being a Crows fan, if Keys is going shit and he's in my team, he loses a role, then my joy of watching Crows games is finished. That's the thing that does annoy me. So I don't want to watch Crows like, Crows are like close game or you're winning, but fucking, sorry my language, Keys is playing half forward, like drive me nuts. You look at the heat map, a lot of the ball he gets has been at half forward, but also watch the highlights, and for whatever reason, a lot of the ball he got was around contests in the forward half for whatever reason. So still a bit of ball in CBAs. I think would you prefer Keys or Fyfe? I think Keys. I know he's more expensive and he has the buy coming up, but he's much younger. He's much fitter. Like we're talking 90% tog in the midfield, and high ceiling at this point in his career. So I guess durability is probably the main selling point here. I guess it depends how much risk you want to take there. So does Keys hold the role? From a Crow supporter's perspective, this is what I'd like the CBAs to look like. Laird and Dawson in all the time. Sloan is in 40%. I'd like him to go to 0. I wouldn't mind Keys in there a bit, 40%. I know you've got like 70%. I don't know if that's a great idea because at some stage, like, why are we playing Dawson, Laird, Keys, Sloan, pure mid when we have these kids we're trying to develop who are playing well in there? There's 3 kids that should threaten time. So actually, this is the setup I would have: 70%, 70 to 80% Dawson and Laird, 40% Keys, and then 20 to 30% for Pedler, Rochelle, and Saligo. So those are the three: Pedler, Rochelle, Saligo. I think Matt Crouch is basically finished. Berry is struggling. I can't explain what's happened to him. He did 91 post buy, and I don't know what's happened to him. So he's not even performing that well in the SNFL. And from what I've been reading, the best SNFL mid we have at the moment seems to be Schonberg, and he's looked horrific at AFL level. So I wouldn't worry about Schonberg, Berry, and Matt Crouch this year. It's the players that could take the time are Pedler, Rochelle, and Saligo. And Rochelle and Saligo and Pedler, they look really good in the midfield. So I do think they should be getting some time in there. But yeah, Keys did get coaches' votes on the weekend. So why would you take out what? Why would you take him out of the midfield rotation? Maybe a little bit you take him out, but like you can't completely take him out when you get coaches' votes, and probably like the best player that game. So if you remember 2022 early, Keys was like he was racking up Brownlow. I think he almost led the Brownlow votes. I think he beat Laird just because of his first 6 weeks. Must have got 10 or 12 Brownlow votes or something. He was unbelievable, and then dropped off a little bit. Still playing okay, but I guess the midfield mix wasn't working. I think the Berry, Laird, Keys setup, it just didn't work. Just didn't have a strong kick to feed it out to. Where now they look for Dawson. So I think Keys complements the midfield a bit better with Dawson and Laird in there. Sloan, I can't explain why he's getting time in there. He was okay early in the year, but I think he's starting to slow down a little bit. And it's just he's 33. Like, for God's sake, develop the kids inside Saligo, Rochelle, and Pedler. So I guess Keys pick could go to shit, and it might be an injury trade at some point. Not injury trade, but it might be a trade where he's playing forward, or maybe you just have to ride some of the games where CBA's drop. I doubt there'll be 70% the whole entire year, but I can see him staying in there for now. I'd love to get intel if anyone has that, but I'll be trading in Keys. It's a punt. Do I recommend it? If you got the money in the trades, you pick someone else. You pick someone that's a consistent role. But it's hard because all we can really get to. I'll probably grab DC as well because I actually need 2 forwards, I think. So I got Humphrey. So I think DC and what's his name? DC and Keys will be my 5F6, I think. Probably sideways Humphrey to Keys. Hopefully that's like a 20k trade or something if Humphrey makes a bit more money with his low break evens. But we'll see what happens. So. And then downgrade options. Well, there's not really any. See what happens on round 13 teams. People a bit on their high horse about people that went O'Sheen. You idiot! He's going to get dropped. I think people were aware of that. We saw there's first of all he's a bit cheaper, 102k. Second of all, we got a score from him in a buy round which we needed. The Sicily owners were probably struggling a little bit. And I guess like were we actually going to get a downgrade anyway? Coach likes him. Am I expecting him to be dropped? Yeah, because there's just so many good ins for Geelong to come. He might be ahead of Jack Bowes, given he played ahead of him and Bowes was available, but maybe they're just slowly building Bowes up with his calf issue. So, yeah, maybe a sub or something, I don't know. But if he's named in round 14, everyone will probably pick him. But if he's not, then bad luck is what it is. Maybe get some games throughout the year if they get injuries. So, if it's a dead rookie, it is what it is. But got us the points on the field and don't have to. Probably some of us might not even need a downgrade option next week because we used it last week. So see how it goes. But yeah, well, I guess it wasn't the greatest in, but some people felt like it was the play they needed to make to not completely cook their round 12 bye, which is what I did. So that's it. 16 minutes of this video. I think that's pretty much it I'd like to discuss. So my trades this week are Sheezel and Ziebell out for Ben Keays and Lockie Neal. That leaves me with 6 trades and 2 upgrades. That is a bad spot. I do have Humphrey and Weddle, so I should be able to get Humphrey to DC in about 1 trade because I got money in the bank for that as well. And then 3 trades to get a mid. So then I'll be on 2 injury trades. So that's not good. I might keep Humphrey for a bit and wait for DC. I could just make that swap at any time as long as the break evens don't get out of control or something, and hopefully that goes okay. So maybe I can hold off on that trade. I think Humphrey will score not too far off. DC should score much better with his ruck time actually. So I'll get another look at DC as well. I'm not 100% sure just because he's come back from injury. So yeah, see how he goes. But that's all from me. Thank you for watching. Hope you have a good week and a good night, and we'll see you guys in the next one.